Hey, it's Gabe with API Nation. Today I'm going to show you how you can sync kvCORE with Google Sheets. That way you can have all your lead information in a spreadsheet. You can slice and dice that data, find out exactly how your business is doing. You can also set up a two-way sync. So you can sync all your information into kvCORE, make some edits. If you got to make a lot of edits, you can then have that information synced back into kvCORE from the Google Sheet. Or if you have a Google Sheet set up with an app like Google Forms, people are filling out a form, it gets put into a Google Sheet, and you want those instantly synced right into kvCORE, you could do that as well. Let me show you how to set these things up. It's a powerful automation. It's gonna make your life a lot easier. So here we go. First thing we're gonna do is go to apination.com and click on Start Syncing. There you're going to see a bunch of different apps, marketing apps, productivity apps, real estate apps like kvCORE. I'm going to click on kvCORE here and set up a sync here. You can see these are all the apps available to sync with kvCORE. So if you're using any of these other apps, click through them as well and set up some automations. If you have an iPhone, you want to set up that contact sync, Gmail. If you have a listing to leads, getting leads through them. Here's Google Sheets. I'm going to set that up. You can see there's a few different syncs available. So the most popular one is kvCORE people to Google Sheets. That basically takes all your kvCORE lead information, puts it in a Google spreadsheet. It's nice and backed up. You can hop in there, slice and dice the data, look at it that way. So I'm going to activate that sync. And then we're going to come back later and activate one of these Google Sheet syncs into kvCORE. So the first step to setting up any of these syncs is to sign into API Nation. If you don't have an account yet, you can create one using this link, or you can sign in using your Google account, which is what I'm gonna do. Once you do that, you're gonna connect the two apps. So I'm gonna hit this button to connect kvCORE. Pretty simple, it's gonna take me out to kvCORE. I'm just gonna sign in and authorize the sync. All right, now we're going to connect Google Sheets. Similar thing, hit this big button, choose the Google account, and allow the integration. All right, so here we go. Now we're just going to set up the sync. Do I want to sync all my contacts from kvCORE into Google Sheets, or do I just want to sync contacts from now on? Most people want to sync everybody in there, get a complete sync of all my contacts in a second location. Now you can also select the name of the sheet, so something memorable. That way you're going to be able to find it in your Google Drive. So I'm going to call this Google Leads. You can name it after yourself also, just in case you're setting this up for more than one agent. So Google Leads for Gabe. I'm going to hit subscribe. There we go. It's going to create the sync, but the sync is not yet active. I just have to hit this big button to activate it. Let's take a look. Just a few other options here if you want to do something a little bit more advanced. We have a filter here. So if you wanted to create a Google Sheet full of people with a certain hashtag or from a certain zip code or with a certain agent ID assigned or with a certain status, you could do that. Reasons you would do that is like if you want to create a Google Sheet for people whose status contains new, I could do that, and then whenever I have a contact that is new, it'll get put on my Google Sheet. Maybe I can hand that Google Sheet over to an ISA or an admin to make calls. This way I don't have to have them sign into my kvCORE and pull all those people. All they have to do is look at that one Google Sheet. That's all they have to focus on and dial and do the work that way. So that's an option. Or you could just create multiple sheets with slightly different rules. You know, I have a sheet for this zip code, I have a sheet for this company, I have a sheet for this hashtag. A lot of different options. Finally, I'm going to come down here to mapping, and for Google Sheets, we really just pull everything we can in here. You can see it's a ton of different data: lead origin, rating, capture method, the assigned agent, the average price. All this information is going to get pushed into Google Sheets so that you can take a look at it. And like I said, slice and dice that data, find out exactly what's going on with your business. Hit this activate the sync. And there we go. It's going to go ahead and create that Google Sheet and start pulling people from kvCORE and putting them in that new Google Sheet. Now I'm going to hit kvCORE. I'm going to go back to all the kvCORE syncs. I'm going to go through Google Sheets again. So we just set up kvCORE into Google Sheets, creating a sheet of all my kvCORE contacts. Let's try this one also, Google Sheets into kvCORE. So the other direction. So people use this two different ways. Either I can connect that sheet I just created, so then I have a two-way sync kvCORE syncing to a sheet, that sheet syncing back to kvCORE. That way if I change anything on either end, it'll get synced to the other. Or the other reason people use this sync is if Google Sheets is set up with a Google form or a type form or some other form builder, and anytime somebody fills it out, they get added to a Google Sheet, then that Google Sheet could get synced into kvCORE. I don't ever have to worry about downloading it, downloading a CSV, uploading it. They're just synced. So anytime somebody gets added, they're added to kvCORE as well. So I could do that. I'm just going to select my Google Sheets account and the kvCORE account we just created. And then I just need to find a spreadsheet URL from that Google form. So for example, in Google Forms, I have this contact information form I use. Maybe I use it at open houses or at seminars. And I would just go here to responses and click on this button to create my Google Sheet. There we go. You can see timestamp, name, email, address, phone number, and comments. So I'm going to grab the URL from this, hit Control C to copy, go back to API Nation, paste it in there. And I am syncing Google Sheets into kvCORE. That looks good. And I don't want to override information. I'm just going to sync new information and hit subscribe. There we go. And then I'm just going to come on down here. Again, you could filter stuff out if you want. I'm going to come down here to mapping. This all looks great. It looks like I need a first name and a last name, or I'm going to go ahead and put that full name in there. There we go. Got the email. If I have a phone number, I can put that in there also. Phone number, there we go. I'm going to come down here to notes, add the comments. Awesome. I'm going to go to the top and activate this sync. So now anytime somebody fills out this form that I've created in Google Forms, and again, there's a lot of different form builders that sync to Google Sheets automatically. It's built in. I know Typeform does, Google Forms obviously. As soon as somebody fills this out, they will get put on my spreadsheet and they'll get synced into my kvCORE. The last sync available is Google Sheets into kvCORE, and it creates a note in kvCORE. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. Same thing, click through Google Sheets, go down to kvCORE, and we're going to click on post a note to kvCORE. I'm going to select that same Google account. I'm going to select that same kvCORE account. And this time I'm going to change it from person to note. And this might be helpful if you have a spreadsheet that an ISA has. You've given them a bunch of phone numbers and emails and contact information, and they're writing information in a notes field. So let me show you. So maybe you have a spreadsheet like this you've given to an ISA or somebody else, or maybe you just have a bunch of notes that you need added into kvCORE. You can use this sync. I'm just going to grab the URL from the sheet. Very similar to the last one, paste it in here, subscribe. Come on down here to the mapping. Note title. I can title this whatever I want. I can say notes from Brad. And then the note details, I'm just going to go ahead and put in that notes field that I have in the spreadsheet. First name, last name, email, that all looks great. I can add that phone number. All right, so that looks good. Now, anytime my ISA, Brad, calls the people on this list and makes some information in the notes field, it'll update the notes in kvCORE. And you can do this for your ISA or just any spreadsheet you have where you're adding notes to contacts. There we go. Let's go to my syncs. I now have 3 syncs up and running. I'm syncing everybody from kvCORE into a spreadsheet, and then I have a spreadsheet from a form set up, and I'm syncing that into kvCORE. And then I have a spreadsheet from my ISA Brad, and whenever he makes a note in there, it syncs it into kvCORE as well. So that's it. That's how you sync kvCORE and Google Sheets. And really, that's just the tip of the iceberg. This integration unleashes a ton of different strategies you can use to automate your business, to learn more about your business, to chart and graph and create reports, all of it from spreadsheets that are updated in real time. If you have any questions or need any assistance setting up this sync, give us a phone call, shoot us an email. We're API Nation, and we're connecting the world's applications.